welcome, guys, to the Challenger Series, your third place match. I am David Freak Tierley, and of course, with me is my pal Aiden Zyrene Moon. Of course, thanks to our friends at Coca-Cola for helping to produce the show. How you doing?
I'm doing really well today, Freak. I'm excited. A lot of games coming up.
Yep. Up to 3.
Yeah, he talked about tiebreakers in the future.
It's true.
Everybody, even the North American, has some coming up.
We're definitely having 1 tiebreaker per region, maybe even 2 in North America.
Yeah.
A lot of League of Legends, always good, and there's lots of League of Legends, guys. Welcome to the show. We're kicking off the final week of the second Spring Challenger Series with a fight for the third place between Never Give Up and Reason Gaming.
And with just a few finishing touches, the table is almost set for the playoffs.
Yeah, as we know, placing higher in the Challenger Series means more points and a better seed for those going into the playoffs.
And not only is there a chance to claim the 4th seed in the playoff bracket, but there's something else to consider. The loser of this best of 3 will need to play a tiebreaker we talked about previously with Meet Your Makers to determine the 5th and 6th seed of the playoffs.
Yeah.
You don't want to be 6th seed.
No, being 6th seed means you're going to face the 3rd seed. That's going to be Departed or C9E, which is scary. It's scary. You can look at the point standings there. NIP guaranteed first place, the top of the table. And of course, tomorrow, if Departed win the overall tournament, they're going to take the 2nd seed. However, if Departed lose, they will play a tiebreaker with C9E for the 2nd, 3rd place. So keep that all in mind. Of course, you can always check out the latest on everything in the Challenger Series by going to lolesports.com.
You'll find stats, scores, schedules, and more under the Leagues and Tournaments tab near the top of the page.
So now let's get to today's best of 3. It's the 3rd place matchup, Never Give Up versus Reason Gaming. Now, last time we saw NGU, they fell short in the semifinals. They faced a red-hot Departed team. But today, they're back for a shot at redemption with a chance to nab 3rd place in the 2nd Challenger Spring Series.
Yeah, and their monster AD carry, Ritix, is just the man to help them get it. He had a killer quarterfinal matchup over Steve Bake's Cookies, going 26, 10, and 18 over 3 games. But he ended with a 4-4-1 in Game 1 of their semifinal loss, meaning he'll definitely be out for blood. He's hungry. He was put down in that last one, and he's strong. And Ritix and his team have bounced back before. After losing Game 1 of the quarterfinals, they were able to win 2 straight elimination games against Steve Bake's Cookies, so don't expect this team to ever give up.
Makes too much sense. Not going to let you down either. Now, of course, ready to bounce back from a disappointing performance is Reason Gaming. They're coming off a heartbreaking loss at the hands of Ninjas in Pajamas. Getting knocked down by the tournament favorite doesn't take the sting out of the punch. Still not good to lose those games.
Yeah, and even though they got beat, Reason Gaming went down swinging. And jungler Trashy is going to have to get dirty early on, and that could be a deciding factor in the game. He struggled a bit in their semifinal loss to NIP, but it's likely Trashy will have NGU's Lasagna for lunch. He went crazy on Lee Sin, going 8-1 in the quarterfinals against Meet Your Makers. And while Lasagna only went 1 for 7 on Vi in their elimination game versus Departed, basically inverse scores there in terms of jungle performance.
Exactly, so we're going to keep our eyes on that matchup a little bit. But there's 2 more players to watch out for that may hold the keys to the castle, which brings us to our featured matchup of the day. It's the tale of 2 Sues in the top lane, Never Give Up's Morsu, and Reason Gaming's beansu.
Yeah, and these 2 top laners are like 2 sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Despite having Sue at the end of their name, Morsu's gamble in the top lane will have a huge impact on his team. He's a high-risk, high-reward player, and he's inconsistent as the carry, which means he could be a liability for his team.
Yeah.
He likes to play Aurelia, likes to play Lee Sin. Sometimes he goes crazy, but sometimes he falls short. But beansu, on the other hand, is incredibly consistent. He's a textbook player, but that may not be enough. Big plays may be necessary at this stage in the game, so walk off with the W.
Yeah, and we'll see what kind of interactions they're going to get. We talked about the junglers as well being important. Lasagna having a rough time so far in the tournament. Trashy, I know we've talked about him a bunch, but it's funny because Trashy, the jungler here for a reason, he plays so well that he ends up being the carry a lot of the time. He has 30 kills. He has the most kills on his team. More than the AD carry, more than the mid laner as the jungler there. Puts games on his back. Highest kill participation as well. Huge impact player. And I know we were talking about this before the game. We thought Trashy might just camp top in the whole time, make sure Morsu does poorly, and then they can kind of win the game off that.
Yeah, that's true. And we talked about it, though. Ritix and Masterwork on the side of Never Give Up are a very self-sufficient lane. Masterwork has 80 assists throughout his tournament life, and they've actually played 1 less game than everybody else because they had a game where it was a disconnect and a forfeit.
Yeah.
So they only have 1 game on the record in their last matchup versus Departed.
Yeah.
So that being said, 80 assists is monstrous. And that means that Masterwork is involved in a lot of these kills, has the highest kill participation on his team.
Yeah.
So Ritix and Masterwork work very well together, and Masterwork has that style of support where he's going to play the Lulu, the Diana, the Zillion, and speed Ritix up, give him shields, give him more damage or a revive so that he can do everything he needs to do to carry this game.
Yeah.
So Morsu, on the other hand, he's not going to have that help from Masterwork until they group up, but he'd definitely be a primary target for those shields.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch what's going to happen here. I like the fact that Never Give Up, their roster got picked up by the Coast organization. If you guys watch the North American LCS, we talk about Coast being so focused on their top laner and mid laner, and it's kind of so convenient here because Morsu is basically Zion Spartan. He's going to try to carry super hard and be as big of a factor as he can be. But then instead of it being like Shifter going ham in the mid lane, it's instead the AD carry here, Ritix. Big Draven main. And we've seen Draven ban against him all semifinal long, but also playing champions like Jinx who can hard carry for his team. And Masterwork is there, as you talked about, to support him and say, oh, I'll speed you up so you can kill people.
Yeah, and BB also goes into the shield meta.
Exactly.
They typically use their mid laner and support to provide some type of utility to their top laner and their AD carry. So it's a very almost reminiscent of Season 3, Season 2 meta.
Yeah.
Where you kind of just have the top laner and the bottom laner carry. Season 3 was more rotated towards the mid, so it's kind of
all assassin mids.
It's a big throwback here.
Yeah, you're right. So I
It's
think
worth
Season 2 is... You're right, yeah, they're here in the third place match. They're going to be in the Challenger postseason. And I know like we have a lot of tournament brackets here. I feel like while we're getting the game started, let's re-illustrate once again how the Challenger season works. So you guys saw the point standings earlier on in the show a couple minutes ago. Top 6 in points. So basically... The regular season for Challenger is basically a series of 2 like playoff brackets. And depending on how you do in the playoff bracket, you get some points. Basically, top 6 in points play the postseason. And you want to get top 3 in that postseason bracket. We know the 6 teams in the bracket. What we're playing for here is seeding. And the seeding is actually pretty darn accurate. NIP's top seed. They're crazy strong. Ninjas becomes very, very good. Departed and Cloud9 Eclipse, amazingly strong teams. They'll reach the finals of EUS Challenger Series. They're just incredibly good overall. They're going to be seed 2 and 3, and we'll find out in what way later on. So that means if you're going to place one of those, if you're the 6th seeded team, you have to face against seed 3 in the quarterfinal of the real postseason for Challenger. Yeah. Not going to look good for the team that plays there. So... even though you're kind of only playing for seeding here, getting seed 4 and 5 has a much higher chance of getting into the semis and having a shot at the LCS. Because then we have this Challenger postseason, the top 6 teams. The top 3 go to the promo relegation tournament. That's your shot into the LCS. We have the top 6. They'll play down to top 3. They're going to get seeding here. That's promo tournament. Very important.
Yeah, it's extremely important. And you talked about how Coast... pick this organization up. They could be Coast EU with the exact same style, too. So
yeah, kind of.
We're actually going to throw the points back up there so everybody can see. Ninjas Pajamas are untouchable right now. And there's actually a tie between Departed and Cloud9 Eclipse. If Cloud9 Eclipse lose against NIP...
or Departed lose.
Yeah, Departed, sorry. Departed lose. They already lost. Yeah. Cloud9 Eclipse already lost.
They lost to Departed.
Yeah. So Departed, if they lose to NIP tomorrow in those finals, there will be a tiebreaker to see who gets that second place spot, which means they get a bye in the first round.
Yeah.
Which is extremely important. And then you can see everybody has these 6th place ties, and Meet Your Makers will end up playing the loser of this match for 5th place and 6th place. So if you lose that, you're going to be going up against C9E or Departed.
And what's kind of interesting about that as well is that Reason Gaming played Meet Your Makers in the semis. That was a 2-0. So if you're MYM, you're sitting here and it's like, well, if Reason lose, they just beat a second ago. The tiebreaker will be a best of 1, so anything could happen there. But it's like, I'm sitting here saying, well, if Reason lose, they just 2-0'd us pretty convincingly. And that's going to put us in the 6th seed, which is not a good place to be. And generally speaking, whoever wins here, right? It's like, okay, we just beat whomever. We got 4th place. We're going to either play a team that we had 2-0'd earlier. Like if like Reason wins, then Meet Your Makers wins. Like, well, we just 2-0'd Meet Your Makers a while ago. Or like Never Give Up wins and Reason wins the tiebreaker and Never Give Up's like, well, we just beat you in the best of 3 here. We'll just beat you again in the playoffs. Like kind of no matter which way it shakes out, you're like, the winner here is going to feel really good about their playoff standings.
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially since the seeding works out the way you were talking about it, and they don't have to really meet a top tier team until later. And it'll be a NIP if you're in the 4 or 5 spot.
Yeah, exactly. So, of course, guys, just so you know, we are having a couple quick tech difficulties. We will get the show on the road in a little bit. We're just going to talk about all the playoff races and all the fun things going on there. Kind of looking at it, so...
We didn't actually talk about Reason Gaming enough. I actually want to jump back over to them.
Let's do that.
Because their team originally was named after Barney D when they were back on the ladder. And Barney D has been doing some work for his team. Barney D. Crystal in that bottom lane up against Ritix and Masterwork, which is a very proven bottom lane.
Yeah.
This lane will carry a game, whereas Crystal is very consistent in his play. He's kind of like don't mash me over an NA, where even if they lose the game, his score will be pretty good, but he won't carry it on his back solo. He needs somebody else to step up.
Yeah.
And you talked about Trashy having the most kills. He will take these kills for himself and put the game on his back. You saw his Wukong back in the round of 10, round of 20, just dominating people. And then we saw his Wukong again, and he was shut down by NIP very early on.
Yeah.
Didn't let him get any ganks.
And that was interesting because NIP plays, and has so far played a very slow conservative style. If you watch their games, super low kills, very objective rotation based, and they don't kind of allow the openings.
Yeah.
Some of that could be an adaptation to Trashy being a very good jungler, but overall their games are very slow for NIP. Now I think with Never Give Up, they're a much more aggressive team. Ritix will look to make plays, Morsu will look to make plays, and so Trashy will have things to capitalize off of. I want to see how that pans out. Of course, we're on 4.4 here, so it's a nerfed Elise. Of course, we saw Cyanide do all that champion, so it's not like she's gone from the champion pool. Vi some small nerfs as well. But I do want to kind of piggyback off your Krislin point because, well, Ritix is basically playing Draven and Jinx for the most part. High damage, aggressive champions. They can win lane, but they can also do very, very heavy damage in teamfights and are kind of risky. Krislin's playing Lucian, Caitlyn, Ezreal, and Sivir, which are either far back, very safe, or teamfight utility with the ultimate for Sivir. And so they have very, very divergent styles. And I feel like if you're Reason Gaming, if bottom lane just goes equal, that's a plus for them. Because like, great, teamfight utility can start now. Once we get into teamfights, no big deal. Someone else can put the carry pants on.
That's true. I'm just thinking about bans right now.
Yeah.
What each team is looking to accomplish here.
Draven and Jax.
Yeah.
I feel like 100% will be banned against Never Give Up. Morsu has never been given Jax the entire tournament, even though it's like one of his most played. It's never escaped the ban phase in any game so far this spring series. And every game Ritix has gotten Draven, he's won, I believe, with maybe like one exception. But even in that game, did exceptionally well. And then otherwise, just banned against the rest of the timeout.
Yeah, and Lulu's one of those champions that BB doesn't play. It goes over to Masterwork in the bottom lane as support for Never Give Up. And they're going to be on the blue side, so they'll have first pick. So Lulu is not actually a priority ban against Never Give Up unless you want to deny that support. And then he'll fall back on something like Janna or Zillion, so you don't really accomplish too much in terms of how protected that AD carry is going to be by the support, because he'll just find something else that does the same thing.
Exactly.
So, not too sure about how that's going to line up here. Like you said, the Draven Jax, definitely. If they don't ban Jax, then I'm going to be excited because I want to see Morsu's Jax. Everybody talks about his Jax, Aurelia, Lee Sin. We've seen his Aurelia and Lee Sin. They're both very good. His Aurelia can get shut down, though.
Yeah.
But Jax, on the other hand, even if you shut him down, he's going to scale. He basically jumps in and goes, I'm Jax! And I'm 0-5, but I'm Jax.
But I get 98 health per level, so we're going to be okay.
His base stats are incredible.
They're very high.
Yeah.
He hits you with his base stats pretty heavily. And of course, so for Reason Gaming, I'm kind of thinking about what they're going to run here. So Sencux, a lot more varied. He's played a lot of different champions. Krislin, something safe. I feel like if... Go ahead.
I was going to say, he's actually a high-level Talon player in solo queue.
Yeah.
I haven't seen his Talon just yet.
And it's not even getting banned that much either.
It's not. But I'm pretty sure you could whip it out against Baby. Baby has the shield type meta here. He likes playing Orianna. His Syndra was very underwhelming. So I'm just trying to set up a scenario where I get to see Talon. I don't think it's going to be viable, but I want to see the Talon.
I think it is viable. I think here's what happens. Like, here's my thought process. I don't think it comes out game one unless they've done more research than I think, because I think you start out, and I think when you start a best of 3, you have a bunch of assumptions about the enemy team. You say, okay, here's what we're gonna attack. Like, I really think Trashy will help top lane a lot. I think bottom lane will try to play passive. I think Caitlyn's a big option there to keep Krislin safe, and they'll just passive it out, whatever, and they'll go win top with Trashy. And I think what they see is, okay, their mid lane is gonna be passive, so we don't have to gank it. We can just kind of chill out. He'll be Orianna. No one cares. Whatever. BB can do whatever the heck he wants. And Reason can give Sencux like a high farm champion like Ziggs or something. Or Needly. And let him kind of carry from there. If that plan breaks down and they're like, oh man, Trashy's not keeping up, or we really can't deal with Ritix or something, then he says, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go carry my solo lane. And they let him play something like Town. They let him play Zed. They give him something that will dominate the 1v1. And that's when Sencux goes crazy.
That's true.
I think that's the game plan. I think when you go into a BO3, you assume you're the better team, and you pick a safe, kind of consistent way to win.
Ooh, the theory crafting here.
That's my team comp theory crafting.
So Trashy will go top. You pick something that will dominate the lane middle for Sencux, and then he can roam bottom to go shut down Ritix and Masterwork.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Shoving and moving around, helping the team out, and they can kind of get both side lanes going. Well, we'll see what happens. Now, guys, welcome back to the 2014 Spring Challenger Series. We're going to be prepping for the game. We'll have it soon.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. All right, so that's weird. The prompter had text up there, but I wasn't scrolling, so now I'm getting trolled, and I have no idea what's going on
Welcome
anymore.
back, you guys.
Yeah, I don't know why I said welcome back. We're going to move on with that one. Forget that I said any of that. I got trolled by the fact that the screen moved around. It's okay. All right, so let's think about the rest of this. Okay, so Reason Gaming, you think actually it's a wave clear mid who's going to go back to the bottom?
A wave clear or assassin, it could be either.
They think he might 1v1? Or just wave clear and go get ganks? Because Zed does the same thing.
It could be something like a Gragas, which accomplishes both of those, has good wave clear. Don't think it's going to be a Nidalee for poke unless their composition is just well-rounded for it. Which is possible, but it doesn't suit Trashy's style because he likes to gank. And ganking for a Nidalee isn't all that great.
True.
It'll have to be something that scales into the late game. He could go like Kha'Zix.
Okay.
He poke a couple people down, then he jumps in with Kha'Zix and gets some cleanup.
Yeah.
That's late game, though. But I don't think Reason Gaming want to wait until the late game because never give up. Morsu's going to play something for the late game.
Yeah.
He's going to play something that just crushes AD carries and supports. And Chrisland and Barney D are going to have to be afraid of him. So it's
go ahead.
scary. It's scary. It's scary. Morsu is extremely scary. His Lee Sin was incredible. His Aurelia. I want to see the Jax. I want to see the Jax. I want to see the Talon. I have a lot of little check marks here. Just come on. Just waiting for that champion. Just give me the Talon. No.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to watch, and I hope we get to see it. I do. I hope we get to see that champion. I want to kind of dig into the top lane thing a little bit more. I think it's an interesting thought because I know we talk about Morsu playing carry top laners, right? And the big ones we talk about, Jax, Lee Sin, and Aurelia. I think they all do slightly different things. So I think Lee Sin snowballs matchups really well. When he gets ahead, he'll then go 8-1 and close the game in 30 minutes. I think that's kind of how Lee Sin does it, right? I think if someone like Jax or Aurelia gets ahead, it's not so much like if I get 2 kills, I'll destroy you. It's I'm just going to stay farther and farther ahead of you. It is a big team fight presence. I feel like the way Jax carries a game is different from the way Lee Sin carries a game. Because eventually, if you wait long enough, you can catch up to Lee Sin, which is, I think, not the case with Jax, that if he's ahead, he'll stay ahead, even at the 6 item threshold. So I think in certain cases, Reason can say, we'll wait on the top lane. If it is Lee Sin, I think they will still dedicate jungle pressure. I think they will still be aggressive to that lane. I think Trashy does show up there, whether it's an Aurelia or a Jax or a Lee Sin, something like that. But at the same time, I also think that if that falls behind, they can radically change their game style and be like, just try to wait out Lee Sin. That's my read on this one. The mid lane point, I think you brought out an interesting thought. Instead of it being a passive farm lane and waiting around and playing their game, I think the fact that Sencux might leave that lane is pretty smart. I think they can punish the fact that Ritix and Masterwork will play so aggressively.
And bebe doesn't have a history of being a good roamer.
Yeah.
He sits there and waits until teamfights come to him, then he'll shield somebody.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, we'll see what the guys end up doing with this champion select. We are now into the game. Took us a bit, but we got there. Don't worry. Thank you for being patient. We love you guys so much. And here we go. Renekton banned away by beansu, and that was a ban I was expecting because Morsu wants to carry the lane, get rid of a lane bully so you can get out of that phase. There's the Jax ban as well, because why the heck wouldn't you?
Cross that one off my list. No check mark.
A Rise ban as well, getting beansu. Again, removing more champions that are good, sort of brick walls in the top lane. When it went up, Elise Sin, Morsu pulling another ban here.
Yep, absolutely. All these are top lane bans so far. All 4 that have come out.
Yep.
They're leaving a lot open. At the same time, Lulu isn't a huge threat up against Never Give Up. They will first pick it and throw it down to Masterwork. Don't know if bebe's actually been picking that up because that will still fill his meta quota for shielding. But I haven't seen him play yet. It always goes over to Masterwork, and they're actually ban them, so they don't have priority on that for first pick.
Something else they want to first pick and not give away. I don't think Draven's even a contested pick, though. If it goes
but
through,
they want it first.
Of course they do, but it gets banned away. But even on the Draven point, I feel like they don't have to be afraid of Chrisland picking it up. It's the Kha'Zix that they really want. That's a contested one, and it gives, it removes options from Trashy to carry. Kha'Zix is the best carry jungler right now. And Lasagna, honestly, should be able to have some good success in this champion.
He didn't have an impressive performance on Vi.
Yeah.
Kha'Zix might do the trick. Very powerful.
Morsu plays it too.
That's true. It could jump over to that top lane. bebe plays it too. So 3 members of NGU actually play Kha'Zix.
Support Kha'Zix for Masterwork, calling it.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Exceptionally unlikely.
How would that work? It's not his meta. He likes shields, man.
He's got a heal, so self-heal. He'll just get a locket and not ancient golem. It's not the case.
No, that means he's going jungle, and then he's going tanky jungle.
Most likely. We'll see where it goes. So Trashy looking at the Elise, the LeBlanc as well. Nope, gonna keep moving things around. Reason Gaming are gonna pick up Elise for the jungle. Kha'Zix got taken, but Trashy still feels good about this one, and Barney D's gonna get the Thresh as well. He loves playing aggressively.
Yeah, and the Elise is a good pickup for Trashy. In his loss with Elise, he went 1-1-2. So he didn't give up a lot of kills. He still had high kill participation. Granted, they only got basically a handful of kills. You can count them on 2 hands. And I like that pick in 4.4. Wait a little longer. Her Spiderlings have more HP.
Yeah.
She doesn't do as much damage to jungle creeps. It's capped. But she's still very efficient. And her Cocoon in the late game is more powerful than it was previously.
Yeah, still a great champion. In Orc Dynasty, we'll see what else she does. Of course, still a great early playmaker. We'll see what's going to do with this one. Never give up. 20 seconds to go still to make their own choices. And I want to see what they do end up going for, because we have seen a little bit of Lucian come in for Ritix. It makes for a good lane bully. And honestly, I do think that one of the key strengths here for NGU is laning phase. Jinx does come through. Okay, decent laner. Great late game. Karma as well, which is a good mix of actually aggression here for Masterwork.
Karma fills the shield quota.
Does.
Has some assistance with ganks. Can set up the flame chompers if you root somebody. So it's a good combination there. And we've seen a bunch of Karma since IEM.
Yeah.
People over in OGN in Korea have been playing it for a while now. And now we're catching on in Europe. It's played all throughout today. And now it's making its way to the challenger scene. Incredibly strong, incredibly safe pick. Harass's Spell Thief's Blade is amazing.
Yeah.
And then Jinx, a little different than what Ritix typically picks. But I like it because it scales better. We heard it today from Reckless.
Yeah.
That he likes that pick over a Caitlyn for that reason.
If he can get the safe lane, it'll work out for him. Yep, and there we go. The Shyvana comes through top lane. No surprise there. Means he plays all the normal stuff. Renekton gets banned away. Shyvana's the go-to pick afterwards. Why the heck not? They got a blind pick the lane, kind of. Anyway, they didn't know where the Kha'Zix was going. The Caitlyn pickup, they try to keep safe in lane as well. It's a great matchup against Jinx for the early game. Try to push her around. She has to use rockets to last hit from safety. And as well, you're far enough away that you can typically dodge the Karma attacks as well.
Yeah, that's true. And if this lineup for NGU actually gets locked in, that means it is a top lane Kha'Zix.
Yeah, it does.
And then Vi is for Lasagna. He didn't have a good performance on that. We talked about previously. Bebe's Syndra was underwhelming when I last saw him play it.
Yeah.
But they are going to go with that. So it is going to be a Kha'Zix top up against a Shyvana.
Okay.
Lacking a little bit in the wave clear department. Might have to put a couple extra points into his W.
Typically is max second.
Yeah. But he might go back and forth. I don't know how much harassment he's actually going to get on the Shyvana. We'll see.
Well, Kha'Zix matchups are interesting, especially top lane, because it is very easy to get your passive back. There's a lot of brushes to use. You can't ward them all. You will get your passive. And the way Kha'Zix lanes work in general is you have to play aggressively in order to win them, or to even go equal in them. If you just wait and only last hit, you will lose out. You do have to look for active trades. And I trust Morsu knows the matchup. beansu couldn't have played against that many Kha'Zix tops. Might be a little unfamiliar with the matchup. There's an experience advantage, I think, here for Morsu that does help them out. As far as the rest of the picks, bebe is a heavy Syndra main. I know you mentioned that he hadn't been performing too well on it, but it's still a champion he's been favoring quite a bit, at least in solo queue.
And that last lock in there was a Yasuo that's going to go over to Sencux. So he is going to have something that has some roam potential.
Yeah.
Can go down bottom because they did lock in the Thresh, and Thresh can make your last whisper very easy to land. Can go ahead and flay somebody, activates it.
Hook will do it too.
Yeah, that's true. Just pull him in a tiny bit. So Sencux is in a position to wave clear. He's also in a position to roam.
Yeah.
And he's up against a Syndra. So you can block actually every single one of Syndra's abilities.
Not the Q.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I was going to add that on.
Sorry. I know. I realized that you were still going to keep talking.
But it would be great.
I got something.
It would be great. Like, throws his ultimate out, just boom, they all hit the wall.
Just bounce off sad.
It makes a very satisfying sound, too.
I imagine it must. You and your sound
I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that.
You love sound. Can you change your screen name from Zyrene to sound effects?
Oh.
Aiden Sound Effects Moon here with David Freak Tälli. We are into game 1 of this best of 3 for the 3rd place in Challenger Spring Series 2. Winner of this game, winner of the series, I should say, will be Seed 4 in the postseason, meaning they'll play Seed 5.
You will be safe from departed or Cloud9 Eclipse.
Yep.
Which is the big thing here. Because if you lose this matchup, you have to play MYM for that 5th, 6th spot. And if you lose that matchup, then you're facing Titans.
Yeah.
You're facing these top 3 teams that have the potential to be those top 3 in the playoffs.
Yes.
Very, very scary position, and you won't make it far.
And keep in mind that if you lose in the postseason quarterfinals, you are out right away.
Yes.
If you lose in the semifinals, you'll play a 3rd place match for the last spot in promo relegation. But at least you get another chance right there. So we'll see where these guys go. Spell Thief's opener for Masterwork. That's actually very standard for Karma. You want to get the money, dollars going in there. Barney, do you open up with the Doran Shield? Now, this matchup's interesting because while you will slowly bleed money away by being Doran Shield against Spell Thieves, your combat stats are so much higher, you can just willfully jump into a bad trade and win the fight. And that's what I'm going to look for with Barney D here.
Well, here's the thing, too, with Spell Thief's Edge, is that you get that little bonus on auto attacks that pretty much counters the Doran Shield passive.
It's pretty close to it, yeah.
Makes it even, for the most part.
Pretty much. Yeah, then it's just the fact of the fact that, or the matter of the fact that you've got health there, an extra health regen for shield that maybe works out here. Masterwork also opening with a mana potion. Now again, we are on 4.4. Trinkets come available later, and as a result, Reason Gaming looking for a 3-man invade top.
Ooh, and they are going to be met by 3-men strong by NGU.
And they're going to get spotted right now. Barney knows about this. They're going to walk in. There's the flay onto Morsu. But it actually misses the Caitlyn Q, but will it be enough? There's the lanterns. All the wards coming down right there. Still going to trade back and forth. Let's see.
You don't want this buff to go away, because if you don't get the smite on it, you waste so much time.
Both strings are here. The
Elise is in range.
Smited, picked up by Trashy. Nicely done. Reason Gaming's invade pays off. 3v3 and they get the first buff.
And meanwhile, beansu actually does his own blue. So he is level 2 already in that 2v1. They set that situation up. They prompt the lane swap, and it puts them at an advantage overall in experience across the map.
The interesting thing, though, is that Reason Gaming picked, I think, arguably a stronger 2-on-2, and they opted out of getting a GP10 item for their support, and yet went for the lane swap. So you've got Jinx and a Karma who's getting full efficiency out of her Spell Thief's Edge in a 2v1 lane, which is a big advantage for NGU, and that's why you're seeing the gold really not that far apart.
Yeah, and at the same time, level 2 came out very early for Sencux because he wasn't involved in that. It could have been a 4-on-3, but he was actually farming the mid lane, trying to push it and get an advantage over the Syndra, who's going to harass him with auto attacks. He's trying to return it.
And you're seeing just the push come through. He knows there's very little pressure coming out from Lasagna right now. From that Vi, who had to get a very slow start grabbing her red buff just now. 3 minutes, 20 seconds, still not level 3. Very, very slow start for NGU's jungler here.
And you want to 2v1 a Kha'Zix as well. You said that he can trade by being very aggressive.
You're right.
Here, he is in a very bad situation. And bebe's taking a ton of harassment in the mid lane.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed by Sencux's play so far. He's doing an exceptional job. And Reason Gaming had a better read on it than I did, saying, you know, you could choose to go equal against a passive mid laner, but they're saying that Sencux... What's the sound it makes?
Not going to do it.
Nope.
Anyway, I did it earlier.
But this turret's almost gone already. The lane swap for Reason Gaming to get the jungle pressure loses them a turret here. beansu on the run away. Level 3, they're getting nice amounts of slow on him. Really forced back.
He's still up in CS over Morsu and levels, and they're going to go ahead and even it. But here's a gank in the mid.
Lasagna looks for Sencux, flashed away though by the Yasuo. BB forced to flash away as well, so a summoner trade here.
BB is extremely low.
Yeah, but keep in mind that Trashy, just to make the top turret die, had to sit in the lane, whereas it allowed Lasagna to actually gank mid and force a flash onto the mid laner, and now actually rotated in for a dragon for NGU.
Which is a different style from Reason Gaming, because they're typically very objective focused, so they must know that the dragon is being done right now. They do have a ward over the wall, so they're able to see it, and they are okay with this trade.
Honestly, Dragon for a tier 2 turret is fine.
Oh, they're hiding in the Dragon Pit, and here comes Sencux.
Oh, he's going to look for a little bit of something. He's going to look for what he can find. Lasagna taking some pain, has to flash the wall. That is a couple of flashes burned right there. Well played.
So this is a tier 2 turret, below half HP.
Yeah.
Trashy willingly gives up the Dragon for it. BB rotates to the top. This is going to allow Sencux to do whatever he wants in that mid lane, possibly get some damage on it too.
Yeah, they're creating a lot of rough situations. Now, keep in mind, again, NGU, even though they're in this bad situation here, did get a dragon kill for it, so whatever CS they give away, depending on how much they lose, could still be worth it overall. But if Reason gets this turret, they come out very far ahead on this one.
So these types of games, it's like an accelerated pace. Turrets are being taken, dragons are being taken very early on, and the game either keeps at this pace or it goes very, very sluggish very quickly afterwards and people rotate back.
Yeah, it depends if they can freeze the lanes or not or what happens here. So Reason, actually, they're going to back off with the fact that Lasagna and Masterwork have shown up. They do not get the turret down. They do still have a gold lead because they've been sitting in lanes for so long. I mean, look at this, level 5 minions for Morsu, who's been stuck in 1v2 the whole time, versus 29 for beansu Shyvana, who's had pressure relieved off of him and gotten a whole bunch of money back for it.
It's that wild card factor. And Reason Gaming was our featured matchup, but it looks like it was theirs too. From the start, initiating the lane swap, making sure that Morsu's in a bad situation, and also that Kha'Zix pick in the top lane. You said that he might not have the experience, beansu might, in that Shyvana Kha'Zix matchup, but it looks like the whole team as a whole knew that this was coming.
Yeah, thing is, he might not have an experience advantage, but when he's level 5 versus level 4, he definitely does.
Oh, yeah. So Last Breath is now available, and a Syndra, it's so hard to get away. His flash is still on cooldown.
Yep. Yeah, anytime. Like, you look how far back BB plays, because if Yasuo basically gets in melee range right now, he will guarantee a lockdown, because he can land one Q, keep chasing down, windwall a spell, and then get the third Q. And you can see BB is forced to play very, very safely until he hits at least 6.
And there's a CS advantage here for Sencux just because of the zone that he's creating. And that advantage will transition into just better combat stats when they meet up for a fight. And BB needs help. Morsu needs help. Ritix is not on that Draven. He can't dominate the lane in the 2v2 over a Caitlyn this early on. It's going to be a very even passive lane as opposed to what we saw from him before, where he's just chucking axes at people, chunking them down, and getting a huge amount of damage and forcing them out of lane, getting a CS advantage. But he can't do that here. So Lasagna's attention is spread very thin all over the place. Trashy, on the other hand, he can go wherever he wants because everybody else is being pretty aggressive. Like, he could go top right now. Morsu doesn't have a turret.
It's true. A lot of opportunities there. It is a bit hard to gank for a Shyvana, but we will see. I also want to see what Morsu actually evolves first, because I know from the junglers we see them evolve their ultimate for the extra stealth, but I've seen all kinds of different builds. Let's see. Yep, he goes for claws. Goes for the 1v1 trading damage to fight the lane.
Like I said previously, though, he does have 3 points in his W.
There you go.
It increases the heal, it gives him more wave clear, and it allows him to CS from a distance, which is exactly what he needed in that 2v1, but also in this 1v1 matchup.
Yeah. And the thing is, Morsu at least did get some minions back when they finally got out of his lane. Ooh, a little bit of damage coming in from Masterwork. Can they find much more into Barney? The Root's going to come through. They don't chase it down. They just really wanted to push Crisland away.
Well, here comes Sencux and Trashy, but Lasagna and BB are both behind them. Vision of this is available for NGU. And can he get the stun?
4 versus 4. Stun lands into Sencux. Forced back. No shield. It's not going to mean too much for him, though. Looks like they'll be able to disengage pretty safely. 3 minutes or so till Dragon comes back up, so nothing easily on the objective table. BB taking some good damage. Trashy really putting the damage down. Ooh. He's going to repel to keep chasing. Q should be back up in just a second, but the stun, the damage comes through. Trashy flashes, but it doesn't matter. First blood to BB. Not Shyvana, the Syndra comes through. Making it happen.
Was not expecting that burst from BB. Trashy blew his repel to just dodge the W. The force of will, and at the same time, BB on the other hand.
With the ignite as well. The damage comes through. The dash makes it happen. Gets the blue buff back. But now Lasagna
he gets out.
Looking for something tasty. Can he get away with this one?
Sense of force.
Nice. Hits the minion with it, and there you go.
Whew.
Well played.
I was like, he's got to have one.
And he's going to freeze the lane, too. Look at that. Lasagna manipulating the wave and leaving it for BB. Just like, look at the minimap. You can see that that wave will stick around and be a whole bunch of money for the mid laner if it doesn't push in too fast.
Oh no, the turret. It's in range of the cannon.
You should actually pick up some of those.
Yeah, he should. Just soak it up. Even if it's just experience. Yeah. Okay, so he's making a decision.
You might lose the turret here.
He's going to do that, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, there were too many minions. He has to clear some of them out if you want it to freeze. Top lane turret actually does go down. The minions were too much for him. So, interesting. So, minus another turret there. No local gold. I believe it's 100 local gold for a turret like that. But still, 125 to each person on the team for Reason. Puts him in a slightly better spot here.
So blue buff went back to Lasagna. It just went all around.
Yep.
So he will have his assault and battery up a little faster, which is what he needs in this map that is not going in the favor of NGU. They do have a gold advantage, but no turrets, and that's where Trashy thrives. can come behind people. We saw there was pretty poor decision making, actually flashing after the ultimate from Syndra has been activated. It's going to chase you no matter what.
I think he was like hoping that it wouldn't be enough damage. He could flash out of range of like a Q or an auto or something. I mean, not worth it in the end, but I understand the rationale.
What if he could flash to Sencux and then Sencux just walls the other half of it?
That'd be sick.
That would have been sick.
That one I do want to see. All right, make it happen, guys. About 4 minutes, flash to win wall. Here we go. 2-1 in kills. 11 minutes in. Dragon is back up on the map. Sencux has his static shift done, but bebe is looking pretty awesome. Look at this. He's got some cool direction, got an extra amplifying tome. It's a good opener.
He's ahead in gold now over Sencux. Now he's able to harass him. Has his ultimate.
Win wall's got to be saved by Sencux, though.
Yeah.
You can get most of your ulti in after the QE stun.
They're baiting him in range of Trashy, but at the same time, that takes his attention away from the Dragon. And if they rotate through this, Sencux is low, and the Dragon is too.
And here we go, they're going to move on in. Can the steal come through for Trashy? It will not. It's going to be the Dragon taken up by NGU. The fight might continue. Root onto Barney D. Windwall comes in, but not going to help the team almost at all. The jump slow, the stun's going to land. Not good for Barney D. Ult comes through. Ritix picks up the kill. Not required by bebe. 3-1 and another Dragon for NGU.
They are even further ahead in gold now. The problem with that fight was they showed up, they weren't in a position to contest it, and now bebe wasn't impressed by his Syndra before, but at the same time now, it's really misplays from a lot of Reason Gaming. The decision-making to continue to chase, the lack of respect for it, and they didn't see the damage output that he could bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's taking them by surprise.
I thought Reason had such a good start to this game. They got the buff steal, they got turret pressure, but
here comes Ritix.
Taking a lot of damage, 400 health left on him, takes a lantern and gets out, but Masterwork flashes in. Ooh, maybe not what they wanted to have happen. Chased down by Sencux, now misses the Q. He's gonna have to land a couple more. Windwall does not work against that, but walks onto a trap. Barney D steals the kill. Because why the heck not? Ulti comes by and it's Trashy in the back of the head though. Did not see that one coming. Kill goes back to Ritix.
Once again, Sencux trying to do work for his team, trying to carry them. And Masterwork coming up pretty big there with the chase. They at least kept them there. He blew his flash for it, lost his life, but they went 1-for-1, and it gave gold over to Ritix, which is important in this. But Chris lived, caught out here. Barney D, just gonna toss him.
He was trying to set up for bebe. It was close. I think without a lantern, maybe they would have gotten the kill, but they tried really hard to make that one happen. And with this 4.4 patch, Vi ulti cooldown got nerfed pretty hard. It's gonna be a while till Lasagna has that again.
So Trashy 0-2-0. Even in his loss against NIP, he was 1-1-2. So he has more deaths against NGU than he did against NIP in that match. On Elise. I really actually want to say it's because he's been making such aggressive plays against an aggressive team. Like NGU were known for their aggression. And Chrislin here,
not good. He has to flash early to be afraid of the ulti because I think he might have died. There he would have made it close, but yeah, down there. Respecting the damage. Looks like a BF sword comes out for Caitlyn, but Bloodthirster already done for Ritix here. So there's a lot of guys you got to respect. Morella Namacon rush for bebe. I'm surprised to see that, but I like it. Bloodthirster already done as well. The team haven't watched Morsu in a little while, but he's actually holding up fine in this matchup. NGU hit a number of power spikes right now.
Well, he doesn't need to get Chalice because it's not going to do anything against Sencux, but now they're chasing on to Ritix down here. Hits through a minion wave.
A lot of damage comes through. Cocoon's going to land. Nowhere for him to go. He pops the ult. I don't know if he needed to, but he did.
Just wanted to slam her into the ground.
Had to make sure. Pretty short cooldown overall for Yasuo. So this game back and forth, different areas of the map are getting attacked. People are finding advantages in different places. Oh. Trashy looking for that onto the enemy red buff. Not going to find that. Lasagna is safe. Jumps over to grab some double golems. So 2,000 gold separating the teams. 14 minutes in. We have not seen turret kills in quite some time. They're finding odd kills, but not getting anything else for them yet.
Yeah, and I was talking earlier, once you get out of that phase in the start where it's that accelerated game, you either see it just everybody's pushing, oh my god, turrets are going down over and over again.
Yeah.
Or you get to this point where it's like, all right, what do we do? How do we handle this situation? Nobody's pushing this minor lead because somebody will come out with a little bit of an edge because one will get a dragon over the other.
Ooh, good reflexes by Lasagna. Trashy the Flash Coon, not going to do anything. Lasagna duking away. He is going to be nice and safe. Attempted play there. All right, yeah, so
Yeah.
A little slowed down game, 3-1 in turrets there. Of course, the fight down bottom did capitalize in a turret this time for Reason Gaming. Ward sweeping away. But the matchup we have not seen much of in a while is the top lane matchup. Now, they're just trading farm back and forth. There's really no main turret pressure. But the fact of the matter is Morsu is scaling up. He's close to level 11. Normally that is evolved wings for a Kha'Zix. It's the most likely situation, but maybe he goes a different style with it.
It's possible.
He's just trying to scale up. Hydra's done. We'll see what else he can get.
If he evolves his R second, it might give him enough chasing potential to chase down Shyvana. Slow her multiple times, get 4 of those unseen threats off. Ooh. Going after BB here. They're going to loop around him. Good cocoon!
Incredible opening there. BB not in a good spot, and he's trying to run away. There we go. Kill picked up by Sencux. Lasagna shows up. Not going to mean much, though, for him. 4-4 now in kills. Reason in the later game here are just finding plays to make, and Sencux has been part of all of them.
Lasagna has his ultimate available, doesn't take it. Karma was rotating around. Now they're just going to set up for Dragon. It's got a minute until it's up. Need to get positional advantage here. Whoever gets this Dragon, Reason Gaming, get it. They will be just that much closer. They might get a kill off of it too. But NGU will start to solidify their lead or start running away with the game. Late game Jinx is extremely scary. Same with
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of late game damage here. I think it's important for Lasagna to be tanky then to help the team out. But you look at the builds here, NGU just wants to deal damage, haunting guys soon for Masterwork. Unless it's like half of Ruby's Sightstone and half of like an upgraded Frost Queen's Claim, which I heavily doubt. So just everyone's trying to get some kind of damage out there. Reason setting up for the Dragon. 20 seconds to go until that one. Ward's getting killed on both sides here. NGU also want this. Top lane is also pulled down, 5-on-5.
And Morsu, you did evolve his wing second, so he can get over the walls, give himself that increased range and the resets. He wants to get into the fights. You can tell he's got the Hydra for the wave clear, but also for the AoE damage and the sustain.
Let's see. What do we have?
Is Kristoffer going to start it? He's going to start it.
Well, BB's putting down Dark Spheres to empower his ultimate throughout the fight. He's actually stopped now. He was. Waiting on the first time. The strike goes in. Spike is going to get picked up by Sencux. The battle has begun. Masterwork in the back line is not in a good spot. Down goes one plus Dragon. Reason Gaming in the lead right here. No deaths coming through even with BB's ultimate.
Oh,
ooh, that's not going to hit either.
So Masterwork ends up going down. So 1-0, and Reason Gaming picked up a kill and the Dragon. About 1k goal between these two teams. NGU, they're going to try to look mid now. They know that the big tank, beansu, is no longer on the field. He has to go back. Last breath still available.
It's going to be Lasagna off the side. Finds Trashy. Damage comes through. Lasagna goes down by himself. Winwell helping a bit too. The play on the BB also goes down. Another 2 kills picked up. NGU try to push in a 4v5, and it does not work for them.
If he wants to go for Ritix.
Does not want to dive the turret to go for it, though. A lot of damage would come back into his face.
It's the safe play there.
It's a smart play. They're going to get a turret for it anyway. That's worth more than a kill any day of the week, regardless. Hook onto Morsu. Not good for Kha'Zix. More kills getting picked up. Play into Yasuo ulti. Not a happy place. The push still going to continue. Almost nobody is alive for NGU. They've got to give up pressure on this turret. Windwall going to keep blocking damage. Zap not going to matter as well. 8-4 now, and 5-2 win kills. Big swing for Reason Gaming.
That's exactly what they needed. Not going to hit Kristoffer with that last little zap. And you can see the gold here. A lot of unspent gold on the team of Reason Gaming. They went straight for the push instead of backing and capitalizing on the Dragon, which is the right move. Because NGU looked like they were going to try and counter push. Yep. And it bit them in the butt.
It did really, really hard. Reason look awesome right now. See what else they can grab. Just some easy minion kills so far. Unfortunate over-aggression from NGU set them very far back. But again, a pretty late game scaling team. We'll see who can step up there. 2-1 for Ritix's Jinx. Damage potential is there. Zeal will be done fairly soon. But honestly, the power spikes, I just feel like they've come in first for Reason. Infinity Edge is done for Sencux. He is massive right now.
Yeah, he has 100% crit now. And at the same time, up in the top lane, Morsu, he's looking for that last Whisper because he is not denting beansu at all. And the fact that he was forced to level up his W first is huge detriment to his damage output. The Q does so much, and you need to be able to put yourself in a situation where you can duel the Shyvana. Right now, he's about to get there. But it's this late in the game. It's almost at the 13-40.
Oh man, it's going to be a difficult situation. See what they can do. We'll see if NGU can catch back up on this one. Reason slowing it back down a little bit, going into split lanes. They're not sieging, but their team doesn't really siege right away anyway. They've got a lot of melee champions in that composition. Sencux going to be in a 1 versus 2. Can he survive this matchup? A lot of damage comes through. Windwall comes down, does not find an ulti.
Oh.
The jump in from Trashy will find Lasagna, turns the kill around. Now can he get away from Ritix? Ritix is chasing. Masterwork is not far behind. Ritix cannot chase.
But here comes the rest of Reason Gaming from the side. Barney D is there. He's got the hook. He can line up a last breath if he lands it.
Finds it onto Ritix. The jump on in. There's the play. There's the ulti. Down goes Ritix. More damage comes through. Reason just keep finding the openings.
They have a team that can just stick to you. And if there's a Syndra on the field, very immobile champion. Jinx, another immobile champion. It is a horrible day for NGU in this team composition in the late game. This went from being 4-4 in kills to being 4-10. NGU have not picked up a single kill since before that dragon, and Masterwork might be the next.
Wow, another hook comes in. The nice play as well. The walk forward from Barney D to get himself in a range. Krislin looking for the pressure, the flash, and the Q's going to land. Lasagna can't save him in time. Great plays there.
Just enough mana to do that, too.
Yeah. That was impressive.
Calculated.
It had to be, I mean, absolutely. In the case like that, you know the mana cost of Q and E. You know it's like, okay, I'm at 185, I believe is the mana it would cost. I think it's 110 for a max rank Q. 110 or 90. I'm a great Caitlyn player apparently now.
Morsu versus beansu.
You can see beansu does have to give some respect over Trashy, looking for something. Morsu is around.
Not
the
isolated.
Damage comes through. Kha'Zix is going to leap away.
Oh, into Sencux. It's even more gold here.
There you go. The EQ combo comes out. Down goes the Kha'Zix. Red buff, nice and happy there on Sencux. 5-1-4, doing better and better and better.
That kill participation from him. And the fact that he's Yasuo. We saw it banned earlier today in that last game of the day. He's showing that even though Yasuo's taking some nerfs, he's still extremely strong.
Absolutely is. He's making just the most of this right now. What a great start for him. I like... Got to keep in mind this is 4.4, so trading around your trinkets is a bit quicker. It's 2 minutes instead of 3. And Krislin is doing the thing I think all AD carries should be doing. Blue trinket on the AD carry around mid-game. It's a 2-minute cooldown, 2500 range. Honestly, it's up pretty darn often in the grand scheme of things. I think this is the optimal trinket setup. Mid laner, jungler, support, grab red trinkets. Top laner keeps the warding totem. And you grab the Farsight orb as the AD carry. AD does not quite find the hook. But honestly, Reason Gaming, I'm actually a little bit surprised they don't have more of a gold lead. 3,000 with an 8-kill 2-turret lead is surprising.
It basically comes down to the CS numbers here.
Yeah.
All of NGU are ahead. And they had that gold generation item a little earlier. So that's why it's not as big of a disparity between them. But at the same time, in terms of items and actual combat capabilities, Reason Gaming's team composition is better rounded. And Lasagna's not going to take that. Okay, so Morsu, they don't have a tank on this team just yet in NGU. Lasagna needs to step up to the plate. He built tanky immediately after his Lizard Elder. Didn't go for Brutalizer. Starts getting himself a Giant Spell and all the resistances he needs to go up against Reason Gaming. And we're going to have to see if it pays off for him here because beansu is incredibly tanky.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I agree that Lasagna should be building tanky right now and not getting Brutalizer. They do need a frontliner. Damage on a BB, okay. Dragon again to Reason. They're now up a dragon this game. The very first one went to NGU, and Reason have since kept control of this area. They're the stronger team on the map. 9 of 12 kills are on Sencux's back, at least a little bit here. And the Baron attempt, 24 minutes pretty early on, just Trashy and Sencux doing it. The rest of the team actually splitting and pushing off to keep the team distracted.
And the wind wall will block the Baron damage. He has projectiles. And so they will take a lot less. And the fact that it's Elise, she can execute it extremely quickly. That's going to be a sneaky Baron.
There it is. 24 minutes and 40 seconds in. Reason Gaming have a Baron buff. 2-manned by the jungler and mid laner. Complete control here for these guys.
Most Fed members on the team, highest skill participation between the two of them. Great synergy all game long, and the fact that they also threw beansu down to the bottom lane was kind of risky because it could have been a 5v4, but at the same time, beansu is able to just shove these waves. He saw that Ritix was there and just trying to keep him in place as opposed to going to the Baron and checking. So Reason Gaming had good ward coverage of the area. They transitioned their lead into some wards and some vision, which transitioned it into a Baron.
Yep.
Pretty much for free it happened.
Yeah, completely well orchestrated by these guys. Used their lead very successfully there. Reason Gaming now. What's up next? They've got Baron buff for about 3 more minutes. They're going to still grab this blue buff here. I do got to point out, we talked about it earlier on, Trashy having a horrible start to the game. 0-2-0, I believe, his start. Has since gone 4-2-3. Major impact in fights. Picked up Riley's Crystal Scepter.
Yep.
So a bit of a magey pickup here. I mean, when the base damages go down, the AP ratios didn't change. So the relative value of AP has gone up on Elise.
That's true. And there's something else I wanted to touch on here in item builds, is if we look over at Sencux, typically third item you'll see Last Whisper.
Yeah.
There isn't enough armor on the side of NGU to warrant a Last Whisper being purchased. Lasagna is the only one. Talked about no tank. Kha'Zix, 2 attack damage items. Then you see no Zonias or even Seeker's Armguard here for bebe, which I was actually expecting earlier. Just even the Seeker's Armguard to have that armor to deal with Yasuo mid-game.
Yeah.
Opted for the Morellonomicon, which is fine. But
Sure.
then after that went straight for the Death Cap, and looks like a Void Staff is next.
That's a likely situation here. We're going to see what else they can grab with this one. Bottom lane siege beginning for Reason. They've taken turret number 6. They're now going to go for inhibitor turret number 1. Blue trinket use spots bebe. Shield keeping him in an okay spot. The wave clear pretty strong there from Static Shift Caitlyn.
Yeah.
But Morsu split pushing top. Reason Gaming are on a 5v4, and they're not playing very aggressively.
And here's the thing, too, is that the wave clear from NGU with Jinx and the fact that you also have Syndra, you can keep people away with Scatter the Weak, throw down some Dark Spheres, and do exactly that. Keep them at arm's distance.
Oh,
but
the flash stun, and in comes Yasuo. Kill number 1 comes in. Lasagna for the counterattack. What else can they find? The hook back on Lasagna. Trying to jump away. He's not going to get out of this one. 2 for 0 so far. They've got control over the inhibitor. But of course, Morsu in the top lane is doing the same thing, but it's just better for Reason Gaming right now. Morsu will trade turrets at least, but inhibitor and 2 kills. Great for Reason.
Here's the thing, if they try and stop the back, which they don't, now it's going to be Morsu versus Sencux, and Sencux, frankly, has more damage in his kit.
And a hook on a Ritix, not good. Down goes Jinx, make that 3 kills. There's the battle, Sencux versus Morsu. The flash to get out of Q range, and the Ignite does it anyway. Sencux keeps the inhibitor alive. Mid lane inhib turret goes down. Reason doing everything recently.
It looks like they're going to get their second inhibitor of the game, take out those turrets, and that was overall a very, very good trade for Reason Gaming. NGU don't even get a single kill, still sitting at the 4. This rotation and this change, just complete swap for Reason Gaming is incredible. I was talking about earlier, I was saying their misplays at the start of the game were what was costing them. I wasn't impressed by what NGU was doing, but I was more concerned with how Reason Gaming was playing. They were doing very aggressive plays that didn't make any sense to me, and you can see that it's only been mostly Trashy, a little bit of Sencux, and then that 1 kill onto Barney D. Their top laner, he's been all off on his own, just trying to farm up. Then he became relevant in fights. And Frislin just doing his thing, but it was really Trashy. That's what I want to touch on. Is Trashy's decision-making in the early game was very off and strange. I don't know if it was nerves, I don't know what it was, or if he was trying to feel out NGU, because they are a different team.
Sure.
They play very aggressively, and when they thought they were going to get bebe, he just turned it around on him.
Yeah.
Did not expect that. And I like that they've swapped it up here and that they've just said, all right, you know what? Sencux has been doing well all game. They shut down bebe. He was 1-0 at one point. Now he's 1-4. Has not gotten anything except that kill onto Trashy in the very early game.
Yep.
He's done nothing. His Syndra has been completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to turn it around on me. I said I wasn't impressed by his Syndra before, but that was a good play. But it was really Reason Gaming not respecting it. And now I'm in that same spot where I don't like the Syndra pick for him. His style is to shield Ritix, and Ritix on Jinx needs some help, but at the same time, he's not on a champion that can help him out. And Reason Gaming, they're going for the coup de grace here, trying to end the game.
Oh, they got super minions coming in the bottom side and the mid lane as well, and the siege will begin for the top. Dragon is up very soon. Baron in 2 minutes. NGU pushing out this top lane, looking for a fight before the Nexus starts dying to minions. They don't find it.
It's a little too late. There's already super minions, double super minions on that bottom Nexus turret. It's going to go down.
There's turret number 1. They're going to move on to turret number 2 as well, and Reason Gaming still holding people up here. It's just Ritix trying to keep that base alive. The push in. Damage on a Lasagna. Still the damage coming through, but already 1 turret. More minions coming by as well. And the next wave, Coming up soon.
And you can see how good and helpful it was to have a tank there. beansu just walked up, laughed at the turret, stood there as Shyvana. And these super minions, Ritix, he's on duty for those. Morsu's landed on a trap. It cost him half his HP, and that might be the turret this wave, because he can't engage.
We'll see what else they can get with this one. Siege number 5 coming through here. They're going to get a stun on Lasagna. Bit of damage comes out from Karma as well. The hook almost lands onto bebe. Will the engage happen this time? beansu in the front lines. Trashy forced away. I mean, this is a low tank build Elise. He's got to be playing a bit farther back from this, taking a lot of pain. Hook is going to land on a Ritix. He's going to play it backwards. The Yasuo not going to get there. Not going to find that one. The ult comes out. Not going to hit Barney. He heals himself just in case anyway. And the base is holding alive. Remember, Baron's up in 40 seconds though. And this might be all Reason Gaming gets.
Looks like they're going to back, possibly prep for the Baron. Be the right idea to set up around it, make sure it just goes to you so you can get that final push and go for the throat. It looked like they wanted to, but their wave clear, of course, it's a Yasuo. I was talking about this earlier with Syndra's wave clear is pretty decent, and they have to rely on the catches from Trashy and Barney D to engage the fight. And if they got bebe, which they did in the bottom, that's exactly what sets them up. Because their wave clear is extremely lacking. Caitlyn, not that great. You have to be melee range to even do anything as Yasuo. And Shyvana, the rest of their team just doesn't really require an explanation. So, well, their sieging isn't that great.
Yeah. See what else they can get, though. I mean, at some point, if you get an item lead, you just dive and say, screw it. Of course, the middle and bottom inhibitors are going to be back alive, which means that they are targets now. These guys can go for the catch, just onto Lasagna, out of nowhere, takes him out. There's a kill picked up. No jungler, no smite. It's going to be a pretty easy Baron for Reason, barring a miracle from NGU.
It's a 5-on-1. That didn't look fair. At the same time, once again, it's still 4 kills for NGU. And a Baron, once again, to Reason Gaming.
NGU have gotten some turrets. Like, even though they haven't gotten any kills, I believe they've gotten 3 turrets in the recent past, which, I mean, there is still... Yeah, Morsu went and split pushed. Reason said, you know, I don't care, we're going to push bottom anyway. That decision did pay off very well for Reason. But that was a catch by Trash that made it even happen. Otherwise, they would have given up way more than they would have liked. Top lane Siege starting now with the Baron buff. Good damage by Chrislin, and the hooks for the stuns. A lot of damage, and Chrislin does go down. Syndra might be keeping the team alive. Lantern not going to get picked up. beansu slowed down. Can they find much more? bebe will get the slow with the Dragon Form. Going to keep him in a pretty good spot. Can they get any more? Stun's going to land onto Sencux. Morsu shows up. Stun's going to land from Trashy. Going to be able to back off.
That was their first kill for NGU in the last 13 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Now Lasagna, he's actually going to find the remainder of the team, stop their backs, and I'm still not convinced that a 4v5 will pan out in favor of NGU. I don't know if they're thinking the same thing.
It is worth pointing out, though, that it's good for Reason that they didn't play this aggressively until Baron was back off the map.
Yes.
Because it guarantees that NGU doesn't have that for a comeback mechanism. They can go for the mid lane here. 2 seconds till Caitlyn's back up, meaning this is the last objective they can grab safely. They can back up, take blue buff and dragon, which puts more in the map. The problem is NGU haven't even seen this side of the map in like 10 minutes. They have to guess what's available. They do see that blue is up. They have to guess if dragon's available. It will be for them. But this is like the first time they've ever even been on this quadrant of the map in a long time.
And here's the thing, is that Reason Gaming are actually going to push straight up the middle and see if they can get inhibitors again.
Oh man, Ritix pushing this in the 1v1. I actually think this is a fine choice for NGU. It's going to keep Chrislin way far in the back lines, and that means that actually Reason can't push. They know they'll be walking into a 4v5. Right. It buys even more time for NGU to catch up here. They're down 7,500 gold. Their inhibs are all alive, and Baron buff will be falling off the enemy champions.
So you were talking about how NGU hadn't been on that side of the map in a very long time. Neither had Reason. They didn't have any ward coverage of it. They had no idea what was going on. So they decided to get to the middle, and they're like, all right, we're going to sit here because we don't know what's happening on the rest of the map. We need to wait until NGU show themselves. And they all show themselves in mid, and then they go, okay, now we can push up and possibly rotate on these 2 turrets. Or 2 open inhibitors.
No, you're right. And that actually brings us something clever, actually. There was a chance that NGU could have set up a trap for Chrislin when he went to farm the bottom lane, because both teams could see a big wave going towards the tier 2 turret. NGU could have set up a trap for that. Goes another 5v4. Hook in onto Lasagna, the stun as well. Huge damage in onto Vi. Shivano comes into the back lines, but goes down enemy. Ritix picks up the first kill of the fight. Now can NGU find any more? 5 versus 4. Windwall comes out. Sencux not in a happy spot. Dashes away, finds the lantern, gets out. Morsu not finding much else, but it's, again, a 1 for 0.
Morsu?
Not going to find it.
Yeah. Just a little scary.
Yeah. But there's a lack of real front line right now for Reason Gaming. There's only one tank, and bebe built so offensively, he's able to kill the front liner with a burst combo, setting up Ritix and Morsu to keep going.
And Barney D actually has some decent cooldown reduction, so his Q, he can keep throwing it back almost randomly.
Yeah.
Throwing it out there, seeing if he can actually get it. Crystal's a little overextended.
Yeah, that was a bit aggressive there. Looking for some damage, couldn't find it. The Siege.
Lasagna.
Not able to easily find more Masterwork. Oh, jeez. Damage. The flash stun again from Trashy. Doesn't quite find it, though. There's the Vi ulti. The engage comes in. Windwall. Gonna keep the team alive. Lasagna is separated and goes down. Into the backline goes Sencux. He finds one. His GA is up. He's gonna find the engage. Still not going down. Finally, GA pop, but a double kill comes out all the same. Big fight for Reason Gaming in the 4v5.
And the fact that using your last breath once again refreshes your shield, gave him enough to be durable and to finish that kill off. And the turn, the flash cocoon from Trashy was amazing. He was on point, and here comes the flash hook.
The flash hook lands, and down goes Ritix. Trashy is godlike. His performance proves it. 7-2 and 7. Only Kha'Zix alive for the next 13 seconds. They push down middle inhibitor. There's only one turret defending the Nexus. Can Reason close it out?
It looks like they are going to. Morsu would have to pull off a miracle here. Fade him a tiny bit, but at the same time, there's so much on those death timers. They're just going to pick up another kill on him.
They find the stun, they find the engage, down he goes, but Lasagna's back alive. Not going to be enough. Nexus goes down, and Reason Gaming start out 1-0 in the third place match.
And Reason Gaming, they got off to a bad start, but then they turn it around, and only 2 kills more were picked up past that 20-minute mark for NGU. And I was concerned at the start for Reason Gaming's play, because I've seen their team before, and I'm like, this isn't really their MO.
Yeah.
And I've seen NGU, I was thinking, like, not to like bash them or anything, but they weren't playing to their strength. I'd seen the Syndra before, I was not convinced by it, and I am in the same spot as I was back then.
Yep.
Like, his Orianna is much more convincing when he plays that.
And it's a better defensive option too. It really limits the ability to push, helps control for the team.
Yeah.
We'll see if they can set up their big damage dealers again. I mean, let's kind of break down what happened in this game, because I think it went in peaks and valleys.
Yes.
The very start of the game, it was interesting because the lane swap initiated by Reason was bad for their their duo lane, but good for their solo lane. It got a buff steal against the enemy jungler. It shut down Kha'Zix early on, who never fully recovered.
Yes.
Morsu did not have a good game at all. At one point was 0-3-0. So that worked out. Chres was like, whatever. Right? You basically just traded turret pressure, and that worked. Mid-game very much went NGU's favor. They found a lot of ganks. Lasagna actually had a pretty good mid-game overall. The first blood coming out from bebe was good as well. Started to look a lot better. And then it came to the late game fights, and it turned the other way around again.
Yeah, and that very, very last fight, just calling back to it, Reason Gaming, they lost beansu in the top lane, and that kind of cued NGU to chase. They chased so far.
Yeah.
And there were so many hooks thrown back by Barney D. As soon as they got in a position where Trashy was able to just flash cocoon, they started the fight, but then Reason Gaming were actually counter-engaged on, and the wind wall was in such a great spot.
Yes.
It blocked off both bebe's damage and the damage coming in from Ritix, the 2 main damage dealers of that team.
Exactly.
They basically had Kha'Zix and Morsu all of themselves, and it was just a nice, delicious morsel. So they ended up picking that, turning it all around, and chasing them to just win the game.
Yeah.
They just overextension there. They were just sucked into a vacuum by having, beansu's off the map. Now all of NGU was.
Yeah. And it was a little bit too much. I love the fact that Yasuo was this soft counterpick to Vi, even though Yasuo doesn't do literally anything against Vi. Affects the fact that her team can't follow up, and that worked so well in that last fight. So there you guys go. Reason Gaming scores the win, and with authority, 1-0 so far in the series. Going to take a quick commercial break, and when we're going to come back, Game 2 between Reason Gaming and Never Give Up.